Imagine this scenario. Even though you know you don't have enough money, you decide to build a house. Halfway through, sure enough, the money runs out. Well, now you've spent a ton, and all you have is an empty shell. Who in their right mind would do such a thing? Turns out public officials across New Mexico have thrown away millions doing exactly that. Tonight, News 13 investigative reporter Larry Barker uncovers monuments to waste.
Is this how government is supposed to work?
No.
What does this building represent to you?
County government run amok.
As far as having something incomplete, standing out there as a monument to waste, that cannot be explained. And taxpaying public should be irate about it.
They are scattered across New Mexico, brand new public buildings that never opened for business, sitting for years empty and unfinished. Millions of tax dollars poured into government construction projects that stand as monuments to waste. For example, in Watrous, taxpayers footed the $500,000 tab to build a community center in the unincorporated village of Watrous in Mora County. Now, it may look like a community center, but appearances are deceiving. Today, what is the value of that structure to the community of Watrous?
Not much.
In fact, the only thing taxpayers have to show for their investment is a bare-bones steel structure. It's been sitting on the prairie, locked and unfinished, for 3 years. Nobody knows when or if this community center will ever be completed. State legislators Tomas Garcia, Hector Balderas, and Pete Campos requested $510,000 in capital outlay money for the Watrous Community Center.
At the time, it sounded like a worthy project.
But once the legislature approved the money, no one here tracked the project. Legislators wrote a $500,000 check and then walked away from the deal. Watrous is a tiny village with no government, so a committee of local residents were in charge. They hired an architect to design a 4,200 square foot community center for 400 people. Never mind, less than 200 people live here. In fact, the design was so big that there was only enough money to build this shell. Once the available money ran out, the contractor packed his tools and left. That was 3 years ago.
We continually advised them that their undertaking was far bigger than they had available funds for.
When taxpayers throughout the state of New Mexico are expecting their investment to be made in a very wise way, and the building is not completed and it's not operational, yes, it's very frustrating.
It will cost an estimated $200,000 to complete the community center. Nobody is predicting when or if this structure might open for business. And it's not just Watrous. This is the Luna Community College Auto Repair Shop, or at least it's supposed to be. You see, the 5,000 square foot steel structure has been sitting on campus unfinished for the last 4 years. The idea was to have classrooms and a shop to train vocational students. Instead, they have this huge taxpayer-funded warehouse to store a little of this and a little of that. New Mexico's higher education department handed Luna Community College $300,000 to construct the repair shop. Luna, in turn, designed a building costing $600,000.
We're mandated by our contract to raise flags if the undertaking is in excess of the available monies.
Was a red flag raised in the case of the Luna Community College Auto Collision Shop?
Yes.
So far, Luna has been unsuccessful in its search for money to complete the project. Today, students cannot use the building to learn. All they can do is look. Pete Campos took over as college president after the repair shop was planned.
Right now, it isn't serving the students at the college. Unfortunately, it's something that reminds us every day that we need to find those resources so that we can get that building operational.
And then there's the project some call New Mexico's Taj Mahal.
I don't believe this building will be completely done in my lifetime.
What a waste. I think we have to figure out how we can finish this, because here we sit with this huge building that nobody can use.
And don't expect former Mora County Commissioner Peter Martinez to weigh in on the issue.
Commissioner, I've been trying to get a hold of you for months. Why won't you talk to me about the courthouse?
I don't know you, and I don't want to talk to you, Mr. Butler.
Commissioner, it's the Mora County Courthouse project. Come to this northeast New Mexico community, and you'll get an earful.
We might as well take the money and put it in the street and set it on fire for what we're getting for it.
After the old courthouse here was condemned for fire and safety hazards, commissioners accumulated $5 million to build a 44,000 square foot state-of-the-art government center. The building they designed cost $12 million.
If you only got $5 million available, but you design a $12 million building, that doesn't make a lot of sense, does it?
I think they were encouraged that there were monies that were going to be forthcoming from future state appropriations, and the likelihood of them getting funded to complete that is up in the air. It's really sad.
Construction stopped last year when the money ran out. Meantime, county employees are working out of used trailers. Jerry Martinez heads up a local good government group.
What's it going to take to finish this building?
Somewhere in the neighborhood of $6 to $8 million.
And where are you going to find that kind of money?
Only God knows.
A courthouse, an auto repair shop, a community center. All government projects gone wrong.
It's not a good thing. The general public is not being served right now because the facilities are not open for business. Today, they are not serving the needs of the public.
Our investigation finds New Mexico does not track government projects it funds that are less than $1 million. That means for smaller projects, there's no state oversight and no state accountability. Bill Fulginetti heads up New Mexico's Municipal League.
We should pay the same attention to projects in a good time, when times are good, as when they're not. And I wish we'd had done that, but we hadn't.
These projects are underfunded, they get half built, and they just sit in New Mexico of no use to anybody. How does this happen, Senator?
Poor planning at the local level, and poor planning by the representative. So I think it has to take shared blame with the legislature and also with local governments.
Senator Campos says the process for funding lawmakers' pet projects must change. Campos is proposing a bill that requires justification, oversight, and accountability when funding legislative pork barrel with taxpayers' money.
In the future, projects like this are not going to be funded unless they're fully funded.
Larry Barker, KRQE News 13.